Okay, so the Steam Machine that came out, freaking ridiculous. This is insane. There's two articles on this. I'm gonna link both of them. But basically what we're talking about is the pre-orders, the price they came out, and a lot of people aren't happy. And the thing is, I'm like surprised of what's going to be happening further in this story. I'm just like, holy crap. I saw small tidbits of it on like, on Twitter and everything, when I heard the news breakout, and oh my goodness. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this. If you guys do like the channel, make sure to, like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also join on the live streams. Stream every day, almost every day. I'm sorry. Tuesday through Sunday, 1 a.m. to usually 5. So EST. So here we go. All right. So yeah, Valve's Steam Machine pre-orders open at $1,049, but the memory and storage crisis pushed prices far higher than hoped. And it's from WCCF Tech. Like I said, I'll have it linked in the description down below. Let's see what they are talking about when it comes to Steam Machine. All right, so they said that Valve has just kicked off pre-orders for this long-awaited Steam Machine, offering 4 options. Sorry, 2 with 512 gigabytes of storage and 2 with 2 terabytes, one each bundling with a Steam controller. So right there already is a problem. Is it not the 512 gigs and the 2 terabytes? It is weird that you're gonna release a system that has only 512 gigabytes. When a lot of these games nowadays are just consoles, or not consoles, but they're now just pretty much gigs on gigs to download. That 512 is going to fill up pretty quick. Like even on with my Xbox Series X, that's like ridiculously insane, like to download a game, because I have a good amount of games in my library, and I'm well over a terabyte. Put that way, I'm well over a terabyte. All right, and the next thing, and then the big one really is the big issue here is the controller. The controller doesn't originally come with it. Now there were some people that did talk about this, where they were saying that the controller it should just be an optional thing, but I'm like, if it is a console / PC or their version of a console, usually consoles come with the controller. That's like having a PlayStation 2 not have a controller, and you had to pay extra for it. And the thing is, the controllers, I believe, is like an extra like $78 for it. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. You guys remember the Xbox 360 era, when they had the Xbox 360 Core, and then they had like the Xbox 360, like the Pro, like the premium edition, right? The difference is one came with a hard drive, one didn't. One didn't even have a 256 gig hard drive, and the other one did. But here's the thing, they both had controllers, and the price difference for that hard drive was like $100 too. So $78 for a controller. I mean, hey, it's just insane to me. All right, so here we go. Let's look at more of it. They said that the prices are indeed quite high. As feared, following the storage and memory crisis, the basic Steam Machine 512 no controller costs $1,049. So this is the one that's immediately already over $1,000. You get low storage and you don't have a controller. Is insane. So they said while adding a controller to it makes $1,128. The base 2 terabyte version costs $1,349, while the 2 terabyte Steam Machine with a controller will set you back $1,428. The 2 terabyte versions also include 2 extra faceplates in red fabric and solid walnut colors. That's if you want to swap the faceplate out. And that was the weird thing when it comes to like the Steam Machine with their faceplates. It's only just this front panel that you pop off and you pop on another one. I just thought that was weird. I thought that was very weird. Okay, so let's look at the story. Let's look at the prices and everything. We're gonna look at the 512 and then the 2 terabyte. We're gonna look at these two. 512, you have the semi-custom AMD Zen 4, which both of them have cores, and then I think that's Tensor cores. Maybe, I'm not sure. Custom, semi-custom AMD RDNA 3, same thing. All right, 16 gigs of DDR5 plus the 8 gigs of DDR6 VRAM. So you got, this is your memory right here. And then you have your VRAM, which is your graphics memory, your virtual memory graphic from your graphics card, pretty much. All right, so that's what it looks like, the same. Okay, so then you have the 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD, okay, micro SSD card, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth, gigabit internet, integrated Steam controller wireless adapter. Yeah, so you have that. Now, the 2 terabyte, you get a 2 terabyte NVMe, and then that's pretty much it. And then you just get the faceplates. So let's go further in. So then here it says, Valve has also implemented a controlled reservation system that spaces buyers out in a queue, limits duplicate grabs, and it gives selected accounts a short window to complete the purchase. The goal is to keep the launch orderly and reduce the kind of scalper chaos that tends to hit popular hardware on day one. That's good. I'll give them that. That's good. So people have a chance to actually buy the console or system. I'm just call it the system. I'll just call it the system. Let's see here. The process begins with a sign-up period. During that window, eligible Steam users accounts in good standing that have made at least one Steam purchase before April 27, 2026 can join reservation lists for specific Steam machine SKUs. And Valve says the lists are split by model and region. When the sign-up window closes on Thursday, June 25th, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Valve randomizes the queue rather than rewarding whoever clicks fastest. Oh, no need to stay up to, try to get that, just sitting there like mashing that freaking refresh key to see when that purchase or buy now pops up. That's good. All right. So then they said that the window is also trying to block duplicate household attempts using account and purchase related checks. So the same person cannot stack the odds by entering multiple times through different profiles or payment setups. If an account is placed in a reservation slot, Valve sends an email and gives the buyer 72 hours to complete the purchase. Miss that deadline and the spot moves down the line to the next person in the queue. If someone signs up too late to get into the initial pool, they are not shut down entirely. They are instead placed into a wait list, which means they can still be called later if that stock opens up or buyers drop out. So it is okay. That part right there reminds me of it reminds me of when it's when the 30 series came out, 30 series graphics cards. We had the issue with scalpers and things like that. Luckily, by the grace of God, I had an account. I forgot I had an account with MSI. This is when I made it in college because they had like the MSI for students and stuff, so people can try to get like, they can win like a laptop or like a PC or something like that, something along those lines. I got an email from MSI. I almost, thank goodness I read it because I almost threw it in the trash. They said that I was next in line for a 3080. I know, shockingly, 3080s back then were only $750. Still good, still a hefty penny, but it was worth it. And I was like, ooh, let me jump on this. They said, you got 10 minutes from this email. In the moment of this email being pushed out, you got 10 minutes to purchase, or the order will get pushed down to another user. And I was like, oh, let me go and check. I had like 5 minutes to do it. So I immediately ran in, clicked the link, and got my graphics card, which I was happy about. Big shout out to MSI for doing that. And I'm glad that Steam is doing the same thing. That's more companies need to do things like that. All right. So then they said that there is also a model selection wrinkle that makes the system a little smarter than a simple lottery. Users can join the list for up to 4 models, but if they are eligible for more than one, Valve appears to prioritize the highest end model they signed up for and remove the others from the list. Now that pricing is official, do you plan on purchasing a Steam machine anytime soon? Well, let's hold off right there. We're gonna hold off on that whole getting the Steam machine thing, because then there's more. Because the pricing, people were like crazy, and now this has happened with Steam. They said that Valve tells players that they shouldn't want the Steam machine at a lower subsidized price as it goes against the openness of the PC ecosystem. What did Valve have to say? They said Valve has officially launched the Steam machine today, revealing the incredibly expensive price of the tag due to the ongoing component crisis, basically with the data centers and things like that. With a price of $1,049 for the most basic version of the Steam machine without a Steam controller bundled in. It's a big hit to the players' wallets, especially when living essentials everywhere are getting more expensive. But that's the way it ought to be, according to Valve, and the way that you should want it to be for the good of the PC ecosystem. So I guess they are considering it as a PC. I thought it was a console. Some people are saying it's a console. Some people are saying it's PC. Some people are saying it's a hybrid. I'm not entirely sure. That's what Valve is telling players in its launch announcement, and it's what it told The Verge ahead of the machine's launch. Sorry. Though the wording between the statement shared in a Steam hardware blog post and the one given to The Verge differs slightly, the message is still the same. That wouldn't Valve to subsidize the price of the Steam machine to instead continue supporting the idea that the PC ecosystem should be as open as possible. And if Valve were to subsidize the price of the machine, it would encourage a closed system instead. I have to come back and think about that one. Let's see here. While this price subsidizing might seem like an easy solution, it doesn't align with our beliefs about how healthy ecosystems are built, Valve told The Verge. It said, if there's anything we're religious about at Valve, it's our belief that open systems are better in the long run for ourselves and customers. The openness of the PC ecosystem is has enabled it to be the primary driver of hardware and software innovation, because anyone with an idea or a way to do something better was able to take a shot at it. When companies sell their hardware under the cost of competitive advantage or buy exclusive content for it, they're doing that to build a more closed ecosystem, one where you don't get to choose what software you want to use. We don't want that for PC hardware, and we don't think that you should want it either. You shouldn't feel like you have to buy Valve hardware. You should be able to view it as one option alongside all other devices for playing video games and select the one that makes sense for you. This means you get to decide which device fits your personal trade-offs around things like price, performance, form factor, peripheral support, and everything else you care about. That the strength of the open PC platform and subsidizing hardware runs to counter to it. Okay, so I can see what they mean for it. They don't want it, so it's like they don't want to make it kind of like an exclusive thing, and because of how the crisis of, you know, components being so expensive, they didn't want to have one solid console, like one solid version of a console where the price is ridiculous, like say for instance 2 terabyte with a controller, so crazy that people can't afford it. I mean, again, that $1,050 without a controller, that's still pretty high. I mean, looking at, you know, the PS5 Pro, it's $900. It's not even $1,000. Yeah, that's pretty high, but it comes with a controller and a good amount of stuff for it. So, but yeah, okay, let's see what else they got. And they said that Valve also confirmed that players who want to try building their own version of the Steam machine can do just that with the latest version of Steam OS. Our newly released Steam OS 3.8, you can run the same code and operating system as Steam machine on your own living room PC using whatever PC parts you want, as long as those parts include an AMD made GPU, that is, since those are currently the only supported GPUs. Valve does say it's working on expanding that support in the future, so hopefully like Intel Spark with their Spark graphics card, and then maybe NVIDIA, who knows, but NVIDIA, I know they're like right now all fully into AI and stuff, so that one's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a very tough one. All right, so then they said that you won't find too many people who'd argue against more options for players, but Valve's comments aren't exactly the easiest for players to bear. Especially when they come alongside reports that Valve wanted to price the Steam machine at $750 USD. Because everybody thought that would be like it'd be a nice price. The thing is, we weren't sure like what the storage we would get though. That's also another thing too. So they said for all its arguments against subsidizing the price of the machine to hit that $750 price tag, the reality is that Valve could have eaten the few extra hundred without breaking a sweat with how much money it makes operating Steam. Its words also feel moot when Valve still develops exclusive games that you can only find on Steam-friendly devices. An open PC ecosystem with more options for players is obviously the most consumer-friendly ecosystem, but it's standing on your soapbox about it after announcing a very expensive gaming box doesn't seem to do Valve any favors when its CEO is about as famous for his yacht collection as he is for being the founder of Valve. Yeah, I mean, I could see that people upset about this. Like, I think because what the Steam machine is that people, it's the PC console hybrid, where it's like if people have a console but they want to switch over to PC, but they don't want to go through the whole thing of like, you know, either buying a pre-built or building their own PC, and like, you know, the upkeep and everything like that of the PC. Because I mean, yeah, when you first get a PC and you don't know nothing about it, it's kind of scary. Like when I built my PC, it's kind of scary because I'm like, I don't want to break it. It's like $1,000 Lego set with very expensive Lego pieces that when if you were to bend a pin or chip off a freaking slot or something like that from a GPU or from a memory stick, that's it, game over. I can understand that. And then also you gotta do more research. You gotta make sure, you know, your CPU with your motherboard is compatible with your memory too. Like you gotta go on to your motherboard's, you know, list compatibles like RAM kits, and then make sure that when you go shop for those RAM kits, make sure it's the same like number, same code and number and stuff like that. It's crazy. There was one more thing that I wanted to show, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Okay, so here it is. So this one was very interesting. I saw this on Twitter and I was like, whoa, this is pretty interesting. They talked about the PS5, or I mentioned like a PlayStation and stuff like that. This is what was pretty interesting to me. This is on Twitter for Play4 Index. It said that the Steam Machine is showing disappointing performance in demanding games. It says Cyberpunk 2077 1440p medium graphic quality, and I think this ray tracing is at 28 frames per second. Black Myth Wukong 1440p at very high graphic settings is at 20 fps. Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora Ultra at ultra settings is at 21 frames per second. Key takeaway: the Steam Machine performance does not match its price. A regular PC costing $1,049 or more would deliver significantly better results. So now when people were talking about this, they were also saying like, well, the PS5 is using an upscaler and things like that. And clearly you can see here the PS5 and the Steam Machine, like the frames 49. I'm not sure if it even hits 50 at some point, but okay, 51. It's basically majority it's sub 50. But then you have PS5 that's like 50, you know, around that 50, 51 range. I don't know. This is a very interesting one. Actually, let's see what people were saying in the comments. So one person said, I'm more interested in Valve's policy concerning passing any future DRAM and NAND cost increases on consumers, like Valve's currently passing on the consumers the current DRAM and NAND pricing. It said, and so when any costs for DRAM and NAND start to decline, what's Valve's policy for that? And so the tech press needs to be looking at all the Steam Machine's parts and start estimating that bill of materials, current pricing, and indexing based on whatever the market rate for the DRAM and NAND is per graphics card or gigabyte, I think. Sorry. Let's see here. And monitoring Valve's prices over time to see when Valve will start to lower its pricing as component, mainly DRAM and NAND, starts to come down. So yeah, when they start to come down, it's like, will that, what was it? Like the not the performance, but like when the price of these components, whenever they come down, will Valve make the adjustment for the Steam Machine as well? Because right now, again, with video games and just the gaming industry, everything is so expensive, just like to the point where normal people like myself and many others, we can't buy the next console because it's just too damn expensive. It's to the point where you guys choose, like, do you want entertainment or do you want food on the table? Do you want to pay for your bills and have, like, you know, roof over your head type of thing? All right, so let's see here. Openness, like user replaceable parts, like the CPU, GPU, and RAM, Gabe. I mean, it would be kind of cool if you're able to take out, maybe, who knows, that you're able to take parts out and like able to like swap them, upgrade them or something like that, but not entirely sure. Looks like to me that both Gabe and PC gamers want to have the cake and eat it too. There's no subsidizing it if there's no guarantee cut from games sold, and it's not that much open if you can't replace the parts. Oof. See, it's arguably worse than a console simply because PC games aren't optimized for it. That's why 1080p gets you 60 FPS without help from FSR, but 4K needs it. FSR is not a replacement for per game optimizations at the hardware and developer level. Man. Uh-oh, somebody said here. Epic butthurt, and they said Gaiman rips them all a new one. This is some Old Testament crap right here, karma. This is so fitting for them Radiohead loving hipsters. That's crazy. And also another thing that they were talking about with the game selling on Valve, I think that would change if somehow Xbox and PlayStation were to open up to that, where they're like, hey, you make a game and you can publish it on Xbox, and do the same thing of how Valve has theirs. You upload your game to Xbox, to Microsoft or Xbox, and they check it and everything, and then it's up there in the marketplace, in the Microsoft store. That'd be cool. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that at all. So it is very interesting. So yeah, I'll make sure I have these two linked in the description below. But yeah, check it out. Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing with Valve and the Steam Machine. Are you going to buy it? Are you not going to buy it? Do you have a PC? Do you have a console? Are you going to stick with those? And also, do you ever think prices are going to go down for systems ever again? Let me know as well. But yeah, South Chain, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.